Shalom traders, this is an example of a Pulsar strategy. So I just entered there at 74.41. Price is pulling back to one of my stops is going to get taken out, one of my contracts. So on this pullback, my contract got taken out and then I re-enter because three of my contracts survive. So I re-enter here at 74.41. First entry was 74.42. Move that stop below structure. And now we're waiting for buyers to re-engage above Monthly Camarilla S3. So that's the thesis right there. It's a Monthly Camarilla S3 reclaim from the buyers. So now we have the Selling Climax. So let's go through the accumulation structure. You see the Selling Climax, heavy liquidity on the bid. Sellers get absorbed at Camarilla S3 and the Arctic wall and yesterday's low. So we have a little confluence there of support levels and buyers. Sellers got absorbed by the buyers. And you see we got a little pop up there. That's the automatic rally. It moves up to the solid green line, which is VWAP. And it also hits Monthly Camarilla S3 again. So now we have a closer view of the automatic rally. So after the Selling Climax, sellers got absorbed. You see the heavy bid around yesterday's low, Camarilla S3 and the Arctic wall. Then we push up to above the VWAP, which is that solid green line. And it taps liquidity up there on the offer and also at Monthly Camarilla S3. We also have a little pullback right there. So it's not really a secondary test. We have a little pullback right there to like the -1 VWAP deviation. So we have sellers getting absorbed after the automatic rally. So this is the Selling Climax and the automatic rally, and then we get our secondary test. So you see initially we had that pullback right there to the -1 VWAP. Then we had another test of the VWAP, solid green line again. And then we had the actual secondary stop. So the secondary stop is basically a test of sellers, right? So buyers are trying to accumulate more inventory and they're testing to see if sellers are going to actually press coming back down into the Selling Climax and they get absorbed. So now we have the uptrust action. So we're going through the phases of an accumulation. So we get that uptrust action, which is a break above the automatic rally. We push even higher. We hit Monthly Camarilla S3 again. And we also hit some other VWAPs there like ETH London VWAP, right? Which is that white solid line right there. We also have VPOC migrating down. And that's where buyers pushed above to get that uptrust. So now we have the lowest point of supply. So you see in the left corner there, sellers got absorbed again, right? And we have buyers taking us up above that weekly level, that weekly Camarilla S3 level. And now we have a closer look here at the lowest point of supply. So you see sellers actually retest that VWAP and start pushing up again, right? So buyers re-engage, they absorb at VWAP, that's the lowest point of supply. So now we have the trade management aspect, right? So this is the trade entry at 74.42, and then we have that pullback. So what I learned from this trade here is that I should wait for a pullback, right? Taking breakout trades is not really my thing because in an accumulation, there's a lot of back and forth. So really, I should wait for the pullback. So I entered the trade here again at 74.41 because only one of my contracts got taken out. So move the stop below structure. And now we're waiting for buyers to re-engage. We already see that sellers are already absorbed. That's why I entered the trade again as we moved up. So buyers are now re-engaging. We're pushing above Monthly Camarilla S3. We're pushing above my prior entry right there. Big buy delta into that liquidity on the offer. We're moving into yesterday's settlement. We're going to get my first partial, 8-point partial, right? So we got our first 8-point partial. No, not as yet. Not as yet. Right, so we're waiting for this buyers to re-engage, pushing us into that liquidity on the offer. Right, so we're stalling a little bit. Buyers are going to re-engage soon. And it's about to happen right now. Buyers are supposed to re-engage, and we're going to get that that first partial, that 8-point partial. And I believe there's two entries, so I already got one partial, which was 1 point below, and now we just got our second partial, which is all the same 8-point partial, right? So now we're looking for the 12-point partial to take place. You see, we have our two limit orders up there. So we have a little pullback. Buyers are taking profits, so sellers are absorbing. We're looking for buying re-engagement. So buyers are sustaining this level right here. We have no pullback. Buyers are re-engaging right now. No heavy delta, buying delta yet, but all right. So there's the buy delta. We're getting our 12-point partial right now. Got the first one, and we're about to get the second one in a second. All right, so we got the second partial right there. So this is the pullback. You see there's heavy liquidity on the offer. We have a pullback right there. Sellers are getting absorbed. Buyers are re-engaging that that high right there back into the liquidity on the offer, and they pull back, right? So we're up here at the second upper deviation. Price is kind of consolidating. Buyers are re-engaging, trying to attack that offer. And let's see if buyers are going to push through. So the liquidity on the offer is quite substantial. You can see that there's a lot of liquidity up there on the offer. Big buyers got exhausted. Sellers take control. We're pulling back now. So I already placed my stop below that structure of the first pullback, right? So that's my line in the sand. We see we have a bid right above my, at yesterday's settlement, right above my stop. So if we break down below that structure where I have my my stop loss, then that kind of negates the trade, right? So we're stepping out of the trade if we break structure. And that's also value area low right there. So we want buyers to hold that. And I'm out of the trade right there, right? And that was basically the Pulsar strategy right there. So this is just a look at the distribution level. I mean the distribution right there that took me out. And that was the trade right there, Pulsar Strategy. It's your boy Melek Shalama Capital LLC. And you all trade safe and stay blessed. Shalom.